All right, man, welcome back, everyone. We are going to take a look at the first reading quiz for our Reading Explorer Foundations course. So I wanted to read a little bit more about the legend of the lost city of Atlantis. And we are going to have 5 questions that you have to answer about this article. Okay? So here we go. Legend of the Lost City of Atlantis. Lesson for kids. One of the greatest legends in all of history has been the lost city of Atlantis, an advanced civilization that was thought to have sunk beneath the ocean centuries ago. Learn about this legend and its significance in this lesson. Lost and found. When was the last time you lost something? Everyone has lost something at one point or another. Sometimes it's small, like some quarters in your pocket, and sometimes you lose the keys to your house or car. But what about losing something even bigger? Could you lose an entire building? It sounds odd, but one of the great legends of history tells the story of the lost city of Atlantis, which sunk into the ocean thousands of years ago. This legend hasn't just survived through the ages, but inspired many people to go looking. Origins. We first heard about Atlantis from the Greek philosopher, meaning writer and thinker, named Plato. If not for Plato's mention of Atlantis, we would never have heard of it. In 2 of Plato's books, he talks about an advanced kingdom that was ruled by people who were half man and half God. Atlantis, Plato said, was a utopia, meaning a perfect place without hunger, poverty, or unhappiness. Atlantis had existed thousands of years ago, Plato said, and it grew rich because of its gold and silver and had wild animals found nowhere else. Look at that. There's a picture of painting of Plato, the man who described Atlantis. However, this great civilization had a tragic ending. In a night and a day, Plato wrote that the sea swallowed the islands of Atlantis whole. While he claimed that the story of the city had been passed down by survivors, his 2 books are the only record we have of it. In fact, even other ancient Greeks didn't totally buy the story. Some thought Atlantis existed. Others thought that Plato was trying to make a comparison to their society. Search party. With so much uncertainty about Atlantis, many scientists and writers through history had tried to claim that they knew the true location. Some thought that Atlantis must be near Greece itself, while others thought that since Plato mentioned the island was originally near the coast of Spain, that it might still be there. Other suggestions ranged far. Some even thought that Atlantis might be in Antarctica. My goodness. Painting depicting Atlantis being consumed by the sea. About 350 years ago, a scientist named Olaus Redbeck argued that Sweden was the original city of Atlantis and that all human languages came from Swedish. While the Swedes really liked this idea, it never caught on in other places. About 150 years ago, an American writer named Ignatius Donnelly claimed that the ancient civilization spread its culture to all parts of the world. The real deal. It's not clear what Plato meant when he talked about Atlantis. If it was truly a real place, it may have been the Greek island of Santorini, which was destroyed by a volcano about 4,000 years ago. More likely, however, Plato meant Atlantis to be a metaphor, an example. He set up the idea of Atlantis as a perfect society that was undone by greed and lack of morals, using Atlantis as a metaphor for a crumbling society. Plato could make a point about ancient Greece and his countrymen. We can use the same metaphor today to talk about our own society. While most archaeologists believe Atlantis never existed, there are many cities that have been destroyed by natural disasters, creating the question of whether any could be Atlantis. Atlantis also creates a sense of wonder. How could a city so old be so advanced? And how could it have been destroyed? Finally, there's the interest in Atlantis's wealth. Does any of their fabled gold still remain? Lesson summary. The lost city of Atlantis is one of the greatest legends in history. Known to us for the writings of the philosopher Plato, Atlantis was a utopia, but was destroyed by the ocean. While people have searched for this lost city, it is more likely a metaphor for ancient Greece. Okay, so here's the deal. I am going to preview the quiz and just talk about the types of questions that you're looking for here, okay? You're gonna get a PDF of the quiz, the story that I just read. And the idea is you want to answer the questions based on the information in the story. All right, so question number 1. Aleus Redbeck thought what country was Atlantis? Okay, so whenever you do a reading comprehension type of a question, you want to find the most important word or phrase. And that's always going to be like the name of a specific person, a date, a time being asked in the question. So we're looking for a guy named Aleus Rudbeck. Okay, so if I come back to the story and I just scan, okay, I'm going to look real quick through the story for this guy's name. Okay, we'll start at the top. We're looking for Aleus Redbeck. So just let your eyes kind of scan the passage. It's all we need. We just got to find this guy's name and what country he believes. There it is. You guys see it? Aleus Redbeck argued that Sweden was the original city. So now I'm going to come back over here. What country? Sicily, Spain, Switzerland, or Sweden? So that's the idea. You want to go back through, skim the passage, and find the actual word answer in the passage. Number 2, what was not a location that some writers thought Atlantis could be? Japan, Spain, Greece, Antarctica. So on this type of question, it's a negative. It's what was not mentioned. So you got to think about the story and then answer the question, what wasn't mentioned as a possibility? Japan, Spain, Greece, or Antarctica? So you're going to have to go back to the story and you're going to have to try to figure out which one of those was not mentioned as a possibility because it's the negative, right? So you're going to come back to the story. And so you've got Sweden was mentioned, right? Oh, here's another place right here. You're going to have to kind of read through it. So you got a Greek island mentioned. The question is, what was not mentioned? Okay, so you'll have to skim back through, read carefully, and see. Here's another place mentioned. Here's another place mentioned. Okay, so search party, read search party, and then come back here and see if you can pick the one that's not mentioned. Okay, great practice for your reading. You're practicing skimming, looking for just the important information. Number 3, one explanation for the legend of Atlantis is Santorini, which was destroyed by what? Okay, so we want to go back to the reading and we want to specifically look for Santorini. Okay. What destroyed the island of Santorini? And then number 4, how did Atlantis become so rich? Favor of the gods, conquest of their neighbors, oil and wine, gold and silver. Again, go back, see if you can find the answer. Number 5, we know about Atlantis from what ancient source? Was it Plato, Eleus, Rudbeck, Socrates, Ignatius Donnelly? When did we first learn about Atlantis? All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the answers together. All right, take care. Bye now.